There are birds that suck blood for food. We usually think of vampires, bats, mosquitoes when we think of sucking blood, but now you will think of birds. Consuming blood for nutrition is called hematophagy, and there are these birds, called vampire finches, that live on remote islands in the Galapagos that do exactly this. They peck at the skin of other birds with their sharp beaks until they draw blood and then eat it. And the other birds don't seem to mind. And we think this could be because the vampire finches used to eat the parasites off these other birds, and over time got a little too rough and developed a taste for blood.
Your eyes are burning, your skin is blistering, and your throat is tightening. If this is happening to you, you might have come into contact with the most toxic tree on Earth. The Manchineel tree, native to the northern tropics around Central America, has an arsenal of painful defenses at its disposal. Pretty much every part of the tree is poisonous. Touching the sap or leaves, eating the deceptively sweet fruit, or breathing smoke from burning the tree can expose you to the toxic chemicals it contains, and there are several. The top culprit of the toxic cocktail is Forbol. On top of its irritant properties, Forbol has also shown some carcinogenic properties, meaning it can promote the formation of tumors. Interestingly, there's one type of animal that seems somehow resistant to these painful effects. One type of iguana that lives in and even sometimes eats parts of the Manchineel tree. But chances are you're not an iguana. So if you ever find yourself in the Caribbean, be sure to avoid the tree whose fruit is aptly named the Little Apple of Death.
The word sarcophagus comes from the Greek words sark and phagos, meaning flesh eater. Archaeologists believe that this idea came from the fact that limestone was used in many sarcophagi, contributing to the decomposition of the bodies inside. But this isn't actually true, and it doesn't make much sense. Sarcophagi contain excellently preserved mummified bodies. So how exactly did ancient people preserve mummies so well? Drying and disinfecting. To dry the body out, they used a mixture of salts called natron. Now without moisture, bacteria would have a much harder time colonizing the tissue. But that wasn't quite enough to stop the bacterial decay. They needed a chemical component to kill off the microbes as well. Well, it turns out, two critical components of mummy embalming, palm wine and pine resin, have strong antibacterial properties. Using palm wine to rinse out the bodies killed a good amount of bacteria, and using pine resin prevented more from getting in easily. All this preparation means that, despite its name, there won't be any flesh eating going on in the sarcophagus.